When we got it last year for the TINA Festival and we said this is the beginning of the year of return, I don't think any of us could have imagined what the year of return was going to do in terms of diaspora engagement, in terms of reconnecting us as Africans. And like Mahmouda just said, if you look at the number of people who have come through different countries, different beliefs, different ideologies, different people, but all sharing in that dream that we are Africans and together we can build a new Africa. I believe that is what this TINA conference is about. As we bring the curtains down on the year of return, we're looking beyond the return. The return was like a seed that we sowed in the year we watered it, and now it's blossomed into a tree with branches. Now these branches now have to bear fruit, and that fruit is what we're expecting beyond the return. That people are not just going to come, visit, have fun, and go back, but real conversations will go on that will change the African narrative. That things will happen that will ensure that the development of this continent, the new African nation, as Fuse and Andre put it, is telling its own story. To be able to do that, we need to start a new conversation. Beyond the return, we are looking at investments, real estate, birthright and pilgrimage, healing journeys. We're looking at a new conversation around the African investment project. Our president 2 days ago gave a speech and indicated that he feels that the African diaspora is integral to the development of Africa. China has done it with their Chinese diaspora, Indians have done it with the Indian diaspora, and this is time that we call on all of us across the globe, so far as we are black. It's a time for us to look back to how we can all invest. And when we talk about investment, it's not just about money, resources, skill set transfers, and so many things that we can do to change the narrative. And so beyond the return, we also want to continue with that conversation. We want to look at how we can reclassify and redefine ourselves. Our whole heritage tourism project is going to change, and it's a 10-year project. 10-year of a decade of African Renaissance, as we call it. So next time we meet and we're looking back to where it all started, to the seed that we sowed, starting out with the TINA Festival, we can all be proud that we were there. So today, I can also confidently say that this, although we've yet to officially outdoor all the elements of Beyond the Return, can be classified as the beginning of that beyond, because this is where it all started. I wish you a successful conference. Have a good day. Thank you very much.
Thanks again for coming. Shout out to everyone that came yesterday. How many people was in the room that actually were here yesterday for the first day? Yeah, make some noise for yourself. Yeah, we had an amazing time down at the school in Sombo. We really connected and set everything off right. So today we just wanted to come and connect and talk. Tomorrow again we're going to be having, the Kente party where we turn up. So as Mohammed said, I just wanted to share a kind of vision and the whole purpose behind the festival. For those of you who don't know, my name is Andre Hackett, aka Mr. Hackett, if you listen to any of Fuse's records. But Fuse and I actually grew up together in London, so he was like, he lived literally next door to me, or the opposite road, so that's actually how we became friends. And Fuse, he's very, very kind of infectious character, and he just used to make music in his house. So all of the kids in the area used to just go to his house and make music, and that was kind of the main way that a lot of us actually stayed out of trouble. But around that time, we had grown up in the community where we came from. There were a lot of issues, there was a lot of gun crime and people were going to prison, people that we knew, and Fuse and I said to ourselves, what can we actually do? What can we do with the little resources that we had to actually try and make a difference? So we had this makeshift studio in his bedroom. The mic was stuck to the wall with a bit of blue tack. We had tissue as a pop shield. It was crazy, but everyone used to come. So we put together a little proposal to our local council. We raised some money, and actually we took the studio from his bedroom and we set it up in the local community in Mitcham. And the idea behind it, what we really wanted to do was, where it was, you could say, quote unquote, it was the hood. There was a lot of, lack of opportunity. But for us, we felt that on a global perspective, even though those children didn't have much where they were growing up with, on a global perspective, compared to children, say here, in certain rural areas, they were actually really, really wealthy. And we wanted to give them a different mindset of actually, they have so many opportunities. So we started getting them to make music, but at the end of the program, we got them to start raising money for a school. So funny enough, when we were trying to actually find a place to run the community project, no one would let us use their centre. We couldn't find anywhere to hire. It ended up being that there was a church that was starting to build a school in Ghana. So we said, all right, cool, we'll partner with you guys if you let us use your space to run our projects. We'll raise money for you guys to actually, build your school. So we did the project the first year, raised about £300. Did it again the second came, and it was it was a very visceral shock, because I had all of these conceptions of what Africa was going to be like. I'd never been before, or to sub-Saharan Africa anyway. I thought that there was going to be, thought it was going to smell. I thought there was going to be flies ready to land on me when I got off the plane. All of these misconceptions. But as soon as I stepped off the plane, bam, I was hit like, ooh, it smells better than London, And just the vibe, it was crazy. It was just such a shock. And then meeting the people was like, wow, you guys just look like the man there back home. So we really connected, and Fuse and I, this was way before everything kind of blew up. Fuse and I continued running the project. So I think it was the following year, he decided he was going to go, and this time it was my turn to stay back. So he went, he came, he jumped on Twitter, he connected with one of the biggest producers at the time, or still today in my opinion, a producer by the name of Kill Beats. He approached him. Fuse had no hits at the time, so we don't even know to this day why Kill Beats replied, but they connected. And they started making music. And Fuse would be in the studio, and there'd be times where people are doing this kind of crazy dance. Fuse is like, what's this dance? Like, Kill Beats was like, Charlie, don't worry, it'll just be some small local dance, don't forget it. Kept seeing it everywhere, everybody was doing this dance. So he was like, no, I need to make a song about this. So when Fuse came back, we were still running the youth project. So this guy come back and he was, tell us about this dance. Just like, this guy got to Africa and lost his mind. Like, what is this? This just looks crazy. So he was like, no, trust me, this dance is mad. It's called a zonto. Like, all right, cool. So anyway, he landed, and we actually started running one of the projects, the workshop with the children. And in that session, we actually started on a zonto with the kids from the block. They started it, sent it over to Kill Beats. He did a version, Tiffany did it, came back. We put it online, and we literally shot a £30 video. The next day, thousands and thousands and thousands of views. We were like, whoa, we were not expecting it. And, when we look back and we think back, and it's weird and quite ironic that, that trip back home, for me, and that trip back home for Fuse, the trip back home opened up the rest of the world. He came and he found gold, but it was just lying on the ground. It was this dance that everybody was there, everyone was used to. But he saw an opportunity and he thought, I need to share this with the world. So for us, that's what T.I.N.A is about. We came back and we saw something that was different to what we've been seeing. It was a new reality, a new mental picture that affected the way that we move. And so people was like, no, we need to kind of share this vibe and share this energy, and that's where T.I.N.A came from. And if you know anything about Fusing, all the mission he's gone everywhere we go, he's always preaching about Ghana, preaching about Africa. And really, we want to share that same experience for you guys, you know, for everyone coming home. We wish the same for you, everyone that's made that pilgrimage, everybody that's come back. We pray that you guys will see some opportunities, see some gold that's lying on the ground. We hope that you guys just have the courage and the faith to just pick it up, take it, package it, and run with it. And I'll say one more thing, you know, when I came, that trip, when I came to, you know, see how far the money that we've raised has gone, I came with a mental idea that, okay, I'm coming to help these kids, I'm coming to give back, and we did. But I actually got so much more out of it than I gave. So, you know, ultimately, that's what this is about. You know, there's an exchange between people coming back and between people coming here. If you was coming from London, Kilby's was here in Ghana. They connected, they collaborated, and they made something unique. You know, one thing I really want us to be kind of conscious about for everyone that's coming back. You know, we need to be in that mindset of being teachable and being ready to learn, because sometimes you can come with a mindset, all right, cool, we've got all of this Western knowledge, we've got all of this technology, we've got all of this, we've got so much to give, but actually you've got more to learn. So it's very, very important to come back and have that kind of teachable mentality, but also you have something to gain, but there's people here who you can open up the rest of the market to as well. You know, again, and I keep bringing it back to Fuse and Kilby's because they're the perfect example. You know, 10 years down the line, they won a Grammy together. You know, they became the first Ghanaians to ever win a Grammy. You know, just from that collaboration and just from that spirit of coming back. So with this panel today, we've carefully curated. We've got people from both sides of the pond on each panel. And there's two panels. The first one is looking at coming back home. Sankofa, the idea of coming back and actually finding yourself. But there's the myth versus the reality. It's not always a dream, and there's people here, questions that you can ask that can find out a lot of the struggles and, you know, the challenges that we might need to overcome. And the second panel is about actually starting to look at ourselves as a diaspora and actually looking at ourselves as connected and actually working out ways to face the challenges and issues that we have as a black people outside in the world. You know, if you look across the world and you look at our black community, we've got the same issues everywhere. Whether it's Brooklyn or whether it's Brixton or whether it's Rio de Janeiro, there's the same issues. You know, there's people bleaching, there's violence, there's gangs, there's certain things that we have, there's high levels of mental health, and there's reasons for those things. So if we can kind of look at those and address them, hopefully we can come out with some solutions. So again, I wish you guys all the best on your journey of your return, individually and collectively. And as Mr. Adjumant said, you know, a seed has been planted, which is going into a tree, which will eventually bear fruit. So love, knowledge, power. Love is the seeds, the tree is the knowledge, and power is the fruit. So I know that once we come together and start building beyond the return, there's going to be huge benefits. So I hope you guys have a great time. Let's connect. Let's feel free. This is not something where everyone needs to be stiff or uptight. Let's talk. Let's be open. Last year people were crying, you know, because there's times we don't make time to talk. And we, as people, we need to heal. We need to talk. We need to hear each other. So again, feel free, be yourselves. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great time. We're going to be here to connect. And yeah, let's get started.
And then, I think we had much expectations, right? And then we went to the party in Criminal of the Year, and something so strong and emotional happened to me there that my brother captured it it on video, I was just like, I love Ghana, I'm a Ghanaian. And that contradicted with my experience in the UK because you're not beautiful as a black person unless you have a certain feature and stuff like that. But anyway, it became the beginning of my journey. When I reflect, I realized that was the beginning of my journey. And then everything became a spiritual calling as of 2009, when I just had it deep in my heart to come to Ghana. And I honestly believe that we're doing something that is destined for us. God will always provide a way every step of the way. So that's basically how I've been able to be here for 10 years now.
I'm asking you, how is the concept of Sankofa being brought to life in the work that you're doing now?
Go back and fetch it. I was raised Rasta, so because I was raised Rasta, I always had the idea of Africa within me, even though I wasn't physically there. I was born in Barbados, but I was raised in the UK. My family is of Caribbean heritage, Jamaican, Bajan, and a couple other islands. And my mother was drilling Marcus Garvey and Malcolm X into me from young. But then, when I realized that my mother had no money and we were poor, I was like, what is all this Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey thing going to do for me? And I went on a different route. And now, coming back to what my mother was telling me, I really respect her. And last year now, it was in October or November, I took her to Barbados, and she took me to the house that I was born in on the mountain. And she was like, when we left here, you would be inspired, because I was begging for water because we were that poor. And then when we returned, we're having the Honorable Prime Minister apologize because she can't have a meeting with my mother. So my mother was like, she was proud and she was happy. I was happy for her, but it made me think to myself. So I was part of a delegation last month that brought the Prime Minister of Barbados here, and she's creating a bilateral trade agreement between Ghana and Barbados, which is, I believe, one of the very first trade agreements between the Caribbean and West Africa. Because we in the Caribbean have not only been out of colonial rule, the same as in Africa for like the last 50, 60 years. And for me, going back is not just a spiritual thing, because there's many people, especially in Jamaica, I've been doing some work in Jamaica recently, who it's a lot of talk, it's, yeah man, they are going to go back to Africa, and they never make it, not just because they can't afford it and there's no direct flights, but we're sorting that. But also because there's a lot of us who are scared that we're not going to be welcome, and we are scared, as Sister said, as what we're going to find. And people are scared of the unknown, so there's a lot of Rastas particularly who use Africa as their spiritual home, but that's all it is. They don't physically come here. There's a lot of rich reggae artists that exist right now who are millionaires, who sing about Africa every day, tour Europe, tour North America, and don't come here, right? And that's hypocritical. But what we have to do with these people, not just the Rastas, because in the Caribbean, I believe, apart from, we have a compound festival in Jamaica each year, apart from the various African-derived religions and spirituality belief systems, for etc., in Haiti and the Dominican Republic, what we need to do is, because Rastas, I would say, are the most African. That's what I was going to get to, because they practice every single day, banging the drums and everything to do with Rasta is about freedom and liberation, and it's very closely attached to the Maroons, who I'm sure you're aware, when they got to Jamaica and they got to Cuba, they were like, nope, we're going into the hills, you're not going to find us until this is done. And they actually came down and liberated a lot of people. What we have to do is we have to make sure that we make these people not only feel welcome, but it also needs to be something that is practical and tangible. It can't just be go there, because I know Rastas and I know people who come from the Caribbean, come to Africa, and they love it, but they were like, I didn't know how I could fit in. And I've I'll give you one example just to finish. Shashamani, everybody's aware of His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie I, right? Alright, cool. So he was the leader of Ethiopia. He went to Jamaica in 1967 on his inaugural visit, and he built a school called the Haile Selassie High School. That's the school I've been working on. He also allocated land to Jamaicans for repatriation. He allocated 200 acres of land for Jamaicans, for anybody who was descendants of enslaved Africans. And they went back. In 1990, flash forward, because what happened was 1974, his government got ousted. And so that land got nationalized. So the people didn't really have ownership of Ethiopia anymore. And then what happened in 1990 was more and more people were trying to hold on, but there was only 2,000 left. Now in Shashamani, there's about 200 left. And that is not what I want to see here in Ghana. If people are being welcomed, they need to be not only welcomed, they need to be given right to vote, citizenship, be able to get jobs, start businesses, and everything you would expect for a Ghanaian citizen. But as I saw at the GTC, the Ghana, I think it's Ghana Club 100, is that how I say it? Yeah, you know, the top company for CSR was owned by a European. The fastest growing company was a Chinese company. And the company that sponsored the whole event was an Indian company, right? So everybody else is able to come here and do business, so we definitely can too.
And I was like, wow, this year of return is also the close of a decade of me traveling and working and living on this continent. And the seed for me wanting to come here really came from my grandmother and my great-grandmother, who were uneducated, and my grandma probably finished the sixth grade education, figured out how to be an entrepreneur in the American South, which comes with a whole set of complications. But she knew she was African. And in her own sort of uneducated way, with us wearing African outfits and being turned to eat collard greens and cornbread with our hands, like these were the things that we did in our family. So I just knew that. And even though it wasn't formal, and she till today probably would never even say the word Pan-Africanism, because that's like academic for her, that's who she was. And so she told us that this was a part of who we are. So I remember, you know, a lot of people make fun of Kwanzaa now. It's like cool to make fun of Kwanzaa. And I think it's rude, personally, because it's the people trying to hold on to something that was taken from them, and we should honor that versus make jokes about it. But that being said, because of my grandmother and her mother, I knew I had to get to Africa. And that was all I knew for most of my life. And so when I went to college and studied biology, everything I ever did was all about like figuring out a path to Africa. And what was funny to me is that it never occurred to me to buy a flight. Like it never occurred to me that it was that simple. And it was only recently when I had to prepare for a talk I gave in London last month that set in. It was like, even I, who sort of was, you know, to your point, like there are people that are thinking about or talking about Africa all the time, but still we're also like bought into the propaganda even as we're wanting to be connected. But eventually, you know, I got a job that allowed me to go to Sierra Leone in 2010. And I remember being on the plane as we were flying over Freetown, and I was shaking. Like, I was like hysterical. I'm remembering it now, and it was just like to have something that you've always wanted and had no pathway to get there, and to finally arrive, which is, I'm sure, something many of you that have returned back this year in particular feel. I couldn't describe it, and I couldn't leave it. And so after I landed in Sierra Leone, and I spent a month there getting schooled, everywhere I went, if I thought I was helping, no, they were helping me. I remember I went to a town called Bo, which is about 4 hours outside of Freetown, up in the mountains.
and I went into this chief's home, and I was working in development at the time, and so I was the only black person in my team, but I was the most senior person. So I sat down, and he basically like pulled me to the side and was like, first of all, we're gonna eat this food with your hands. And I was like, actually, Wilhelmina and Trustee already told me that. And we just had this whole like session of connection, unpacking and unlearning and relearning. And he had a portrait of then newly elected President Barack Obama in his home and was talking about the politics in the U.S. and it was just crazy to me that like he was more politically astute than like people I knew in New York. And it was just this moment of like transcending what I thought I knew and stepping into what possibility could be created between us. And from that moment, I just said, like, this is where I'm supposed to be. And so about 4 years ago, after posting on Facebook and my friends wondering, like, what part of Africa are you in? Because everything they saw on my Facebook page was, like, popping or welcoming or warm or creatives or people doing amazing stuff. And I realized, like, there's something people want from the continent that's not easily accessible to them. And I wanted to do it, and I wanted to do it in a formal way. And so I started a company, Tastemakers Africa, and at first we were just sort of bringing people in small groups to the continent. And it was interesting because I didn't go the typical route. I didn't say, let me just contract out a tour company, because one of the things I found in tourism is that tourism in Africa was built for white people. And I was like, I don't want this like standard run-of-the-mill thing, and I don't want to actually just be giving my money to some company that's then also owned by some European. Like, I want to actually like drive money to people making things happen. And so I would spend hours like on Instagram contacting artists and chefs and saying, hey, I'm bringing a group, can we connect with you? Can we use your services directly? And started building community in Ghana that way and bringing these like small groups year over year. And then a year ago, I was like, this is not enough. We had learned a lot. We had made some amazing things happen. We had run into tons of hiccups and had learned and built and learned and built more, and decided, like, you know, why not take technology and make this massive? You know, I looked at Uber and Airbnb and all these big companies with all this funding to kind of build community. And I was like, why can't we do this? Like, why can't we build something that allows us to connect with each other directly? And so a year ago, I did that. I was like, we're going to build a technology platform that allows people to book tours and things to do with locals in Africa. And we're going to create a system that drives benefits for them to do it. And all of this was done without having, like, someone here to, like, do it for me. Like, I came and moved to Ghana. Like, and I'm not Ghanaian, but I moved here with my son and figured it out because I knew it needed to be done. And this year, and I'm so thankful to what the tourism board and just kind of the larger community in Ghana has done with Year of Return, because it's been an incredible year for people connecting. It's been an incredible year for my company, and it's been an incredible year for people like us that are looking to make it happen. And so for me, my story is really just about, like, Sankofa is real, and it's about looking back and grabbing hold of possibility, but you don't need anything but sort of your vision to, like, make it happen. Like, don't get caught up in the idea that I didn't have anything. I didn't have anybody. You know, almost $2 million in funding later, I have a lot. So don't stop yourself at that, you know? And so I remember eating the bread, because I knew the bread. But I didn't know the bread, this round meat thing. And from that age going, even though, like, as I was growing up, by the age of 8, 10, I didn't want to be black anymore. I wanted to be white because all my friends had long hair. There was a period where I was the darkest in the room. And my parents were always like, look, you're different. That doesn't mean you're the worst, kind of thing. And I remember always at home, my parents used to speak to me in
English. And if I tried to speak in English, she would respond in Twi. So all the time, like at home, it was all about Ghana. All the time, each and every time. So I knew there was somewhere that was special. So at the age of 16, they took me back. And then I would say that moment, at the age of 16, Ghana was just everything. If you cut me in half, you see red, gold, green, and a black star. Because my mum and dad, honestly, I give them all the thanks and praise all the time. It's so important now for my children. I make sure that they learn the language. I make sure that they know about Ghana. My children wear African print each and every time. My children have Ghanaian names. Like, I'm not ready for them to have English names because I feel like, you know, when somebody even asks me what's your name, Denta, oh, where's that name from? Ghana. You're promoting your country. You know, you're not going to find a white person naming themselves Denta or Kojo or Kabla. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? And the thing is, I always say that I really respect Nigerians when it comes to naming their children. Nigerians would be Oyoloda, Obeshi, baba baba baba. No, and they don't preach, and they are happy to pronounce the name, and it means God's blessing, God's favor. They are so patriotic, Nigerians. And so that's something that I've learned that I've always trying to instill in my children as well. My children are all Ghanaian men. Enquires, Adansie, and Ria, and Enigie. So Enquires is the truth, Adansie is testimony, Ria is sunshine, and Enigie is joy. And those are powerful names that I've given them. And they all come from Ghana. We have powerful names here, right here. And in 2006, I started to do my own TV show called The Denta Show. I remember my mom and dad used to have so many of the Ghana movies on DVD that I used to watch. And she was like, oh, there's nobody interviewing Ejako and Mami Dokno and Edward Smart. These are all kind of old actresses that we used to have. And I was like, oh, I'm sure I could interview them. So I would fly to Ghana, interview them, and bring it to OBE TV at the time, which was on Sky. Just so that people could connect with like actresses and actors that they love. And then it grew on from there, and in 2009 I started Uber Awards, which was basically to connect Ghana in the UK. So we would celebrate British Ghanaians that were doing well and Ghanaians in Ghana and across the world. So I would always say that I've always had some type of connection with Ghana, and I really truly believe that our parents are key. And if you're a parent, you're key to making sure that your children know where they are from. It's so important.